Okay, guys, welcome back to the Clutch Takes podcast. Different format. We're doing video, no mic right now, so it's best we can do. So we're gonna be talking about cancel culture. It's been like big with the Black Lives Matter movement. Everyone's getting canceled. As you see by the thumbnail, Shane Dawson in particular has lost like millions of subscribers over controversy he did in the past. So what's your opinion on cancel culture, guys? Do you think like people should be given second chances, or one wrong, you're out?
Obviously, second chances. I mean, if we're just talking, like, I would understand if the person like was an actual genuine like scumbag and did like a lot of horrendous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like, let's take an example, like a year or 2 years back, James Gunn. He was good. There was like a whole cancel culture thing towards him because he made a joke, like some sexual jokes on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
They were more dark, edgy humor kind of jokes, but people have taken it too far and they wanted to cancel him.
Mm-hmm. The thing about like Shane Dawson was that people are bringing up dirt from a long time ago. Like, there's this one in particular video that got like the Smith family upset because he's like pretending to like jerk off in front of like a picture of her, which is like pretty wrong, obviously. But like it happened like a long time ago that like no one even remembered it until you pulled it up.
Yeah, I think there was one with him with the whole blackface thing that he already addressed beforehand, and people are bringing it up now, which is another thing. It's like some of these criticisms or like like issues people are having, it's already been addressed by the person beforehand.
Yeah, a lot of people did like blackface back in the day. Like Robert Downey Jr. did that too.
Well, his was for his was like that's the thing about context matters. Like his was for like a joke in a movie, or in a movie that's already, I guess, satirical or comedy.
Yeah.
Tropical Thunder. So
yeah. And you have to like think about it too. Like all the people that are saying cancel culture is like they weren't mad at it at the time being, and now they're mad at it. Now that society changed.
Well, it's either society changed or they're just getting on the trend.
Yeah. So it's like you weren't like you didn't have that same energy back in the day. You know what I mean? Now you're jumping on it. So it's like you were wrong too for not calling it out back then.
Well, I mean, it could be either seen as hypocritical or it's just like a bandwagon, because some of these people might get clicks of like followers and people are just joining on.
Yeah.
And some of these things are actually taken to the extreme. Like for example, one of these actors for the Disney Channel, I can't remember her name. She's been going around like trying to expose like certain social media accounts of kids going into high school, to cause backlash.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with that is that it's leading towards their they're getting like their information is getting leaked, and these are like kids and what we're seeing right now with the whole Black Lives Matter going on is like it's pretty extreme.
It's almost like a hate group.
It's a hate. I mean, they're targeting. So there's like this white person, for example, like a kid gets called out. Like this actor. I can't remember her name off the bat. She was a part of the Jesse show or something like that. The problem is that white kid gets his address revealed. There might be a video montage of him, there might be actual some of these protesters recording, confronting him and beating the shit out of him just for a joke or something. And it's already been shown that some of these people are not actually responsible for what they're being accused for, and it's irresponsible. Also, the fact is that this actor has been, public is helping, I guess in a way, giving out information to minors. Like their information, their addresses, and that's illegal.
Yeah, that's fucked up. And what do you have to say about like people bringing up stuff from like way back in the day and bringing it to the forefront now?
Well, I feel like unless it's like an actual heinous crime that they've done that actually has proof, unless say it's like an allegation that has no proof, I feel like no one should have a say in it unless it's like people in court or lawyers and stuff like that. Because people online, they think that say someone was like accused of robbing a bank or something like that. that, and they were like, oh, there's an allegation that he's a robber or something like that. So then everyone's like, oh, now he's a bank robber, and they like curse him and shit like that. There's no proof, so people automatically put that label on him, even if he's innocent or not. Like for example, Johnny Depp, like this is a big thing now. He was canceled 4 years ago for being a wife beater. But now everyone back then was canceling him. He lost his job in the Pirates of the Caribbean. But now it's come to light that he has proof that he was the one who's being abused. All those are lies, and it's like all those people who were saying that Johnny Depp was like a bad person, they're eating their words and they're switching sides. So they only go with the flow. So like if Johnny Depp was being the one attacked, they'll jump on the bandwagon. Now Johnny Depp's like has proof, actual hard proof that it wasn't him and he was the one being abused, getting his finger cut, this and that. People switch sides because they don't want to be wrong.
Yeah, basically it seems like a lot of the times like they make like assumptions, and like, you know, if there's not like visual proof, you know what I mean? Like you just canceled someone and it's like hard for them to regain back their career. And it's like, say Johnny Depp, it's like you cancel him, now it's like anything he comes, it's gonna be harder for him to come back even with the big name.
And the Shane Dawson allegations, it's like he's apologized for it, and it's like someone made a joke that's like racist, whatever, and it's like they did it 10 years ago. I mean, it's like, I feel like it's very childish to bring up past things that people have done, even though it's like, what, he was like 21. Your brain doesn't develop till you're 25. So like, he's learned his lesson. I've never seen him do a racist joke ever since then. So like, you're making him like a bad person from what he's done when he was basically a really young adult. And it's like, if he kept doing it, if he was like doing the exact same thing over and over and over again, and even to this day he still kept on doing it, yeah, then it's like, okay, then he deserves it.
Yeah. And it seems like apology videos nowadays, it's kind of like, some of the times it's like, it doesn't even make sense why they make it, you know what I mean? Because it's like Shane Dawson addressed it, and it seems like he's getting more hate than before. Because like then people are like, become like judges, like is it sincere, was it not sincere, or it's just like, you know, they get the attention from like the views, but if you check his video, it's like the dislikes are almost the same as the likes, so was it even like, and then if he didn't make an apology video, people would be like, he's sitting in silence or something like that, he's arrogant and he thinks he's right. But then when he does make an apology video, people think he's not sincere and they try to cancel him more.
I feel like cancel culture, it's like sometimes, like,
What are you supposed to do?
yeah, I mean, I feel like sometimes it can be good in some ways, but most of the time it's not. Because a lot of the times it's like scenarios where it's like 10 years ago or like 20 years ago, and it's like, that's like a long time ago. Like you said, if you don't bring it up then it's like, you know, you were okay with it back then. Meaning you're the same person as them. Not the same person, but you were like,
You were accepting it.
yeah, you had an acceptance of it.
Well, it's either that or it's just want to get like a trend thing going on because, I mean, at this point right now, I think the reason why Shane's getting more hate is because, you know, white person, Black Lives Matter movement going on because of what a cop did. So it's just a trend going on, get clicks for some of these people.
Like,
or in this case, get like followers.
Like, I respect people who are like, they're outraged with people who say things or that are bad or like bad jokes, whatever, now to address them, to call them out. Like now, like if they did it in the past week or so. But like, rather than like 10 years ago, you dig deep to what they've done, and it's kind of like, you know, you're trying to make someone look bad because you're jealous about their fame.
Yeah.
But like, a good example is like, you know, Nick Cannon, he made those remarks. You know who he is?
Sort of.
Yeah, well, he was on like, not Disney, it was like, whatever, it was like Nickelodeon or something like that, and he made remarks on like, it was like hateful remarks against Jewish people and like white people, saying like they're like not like black people were superior and stuff like that, and then he got fired like right away. People were mad about it. That's like warranted because he said it on live on like a podcast, and that's like deserving because it's like, you know, you don't say that and then not have any consequences. It wasn't just like, oh, you're white, say a joke about white people or Jewish people or this and that. But like, he was saying remarks that were like similar to like actual remarks that like saying similar, not saying like he is Hitler, but like similar to what Hitler was kind of saying to what Jewish people, like saying like they're animals and this and that, they're roaches.
Yeah, that's actually a good point to lead into. Did you hear about the NFL stuff with like Deshaun Jackson?
No.
So like basically, earlier, like Drew Brees was like defending, like saying like he doesn't kneel because of he thinks it's like disrespectful to the flag. But then like people are saying it's not about the flag, it's about like the Black lives and stuff like that, and justice. So then he's like, oh okay, I apologize. And like Drew Brees got like everyone's like cancel Drew Brees, cancel. And then so yeah, that came out, and then it's like meanwhile Drew Brees does all this stuff for his community when like there's like floods or other stuff, coronavirus, and making all these donations and helping out. And then black football player Deshaun Jackson, he basically posted on his Instagram story like this Hitler quote, like talking about like how like the Jews were wrong and that like the black people are actually like the children of God or whatever, something like that. And it was like a really, really racist post, and like he got off like the hook, kind of just like a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
And it's like Drew Brees did something way less worse than Deshaun Jackson.
I mean, it's like it's courtesy to kneel. To not kneel to the flag and stand up, whatever. And someone who actually makes a racist remark or like a hateful remark, like not like I said, like a joke is like whatever. It's like if it's like people get offended, it's like whatever. They have freedom of speech and making a joke or whatever. As long as it's not like a hateful thing, saying like I hate Sharon because he's Indian, or I hate Danny because he's white.
It matters the context. Like if the joke was going around, like
yeah, like that's not
it's
context. But if it's like saying like, oh, Asian people are good at math, and it's like you're gonna get mad at that. It's like you're just gonna get offended by that. But it's like people can take it out two ways. It's like, oh, you're saying all Asian people are good at math because of blah blah blah. But also it's like that's a positive light on like a racial issue. It's like like why would you not want to be good at something?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The only other issue with this whole cancel culture, it's not people that are getting canceled, it's the people targeting like industries a certain way things are. Like with the whole anime and manga like artists, like people are against the sexual, like how certain characters or fictional characters look sexualized for some reason. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it fits for the audience that it's targeting. If it's not that, it's then other video games, in a pseudo kind of way, I guess you could think of video games in the past, with people like targeting video games in the past, like with feminist frequency, calling video games sexist because of females having to be rescued in games and shit like that. And it's not necessarily harming anyone. People are it's so much invested into it. They take it way too personal, even though there's not really any bad consequence.
Yeah, it's cancel culture basically rooted from SJWs, and they're just getting offended about everything. And that's why companies in the media and the entertainment industry is very they're scared if they're gonna get canceled. So they make things that are to try to please those people, but that it comes off as pandering, and they get and then more people get mad because it's you ruin things that people love or whatever. If you say for example, it's kind of this is a different kind of topic, but it's this is kind of double standard when SJWs were getting mad at comics when they say oh, you over sexualize women and this and that, and it's way too sexualized for women, but it's at the same time it's also over sexualized for men too. Men in the comics are way too beefed up to be like realistic. They have like big, you know,
I mean, some
packs. They're like have like a 16 pack. They're like huge.
I mean, yeah,
That's like
they're
that's over sexualized for a woman to look at because of women like muscular men. So it's like that's both ways, and they only look at the one side. So like, it's just weird in that way.
And PR is needed like way more than ever for companies nowadays, because like companies and celebrities and whoever has like a platform, they're being well documented because like the media is greater than ever now. So and like people can look up old tweets from Twitter or old things people said or old ideologies or current ones. So everyone's PR like needs to be on their toes, and it's kind of like created like a snowflake society. It's like almost like
oversensitive society, basically, right?
yeah, you can't make any jokes anymore without expecting repercussions. It feels like, but it should be like really hard, honestly, for like a comedian to make jokes. Like being a comedian in this era.
Yeah, I'd be surprised like if anyone would want to be a comedian or like anything like that. Like all the hate they get.
Yeah.
What I want to bring up is like the double standard. It was like technically there's like a cancellation of police officers around the world or North America right now, and like defund the police.
Well, I mean, it's more defunding the resources, but
Yeah.
there are certain like.
Well, there are some certain places that want to get rid of them totally.
Yeah, that's true.
So I know this is very sensitive to some people, but like their argument is from the protesters. They say that like, you know, since there's a small, like there's bad apples everywhere, right? But there's bad apples in the police force. Like I do agree that this should be coming to light, that police brutality should not be happening because that's what we rely on. But like, you know, there's like a few bad apples in the police force, and their argument is that like all of the police force is bad because they don't address it, right? So we blame all the police. So that's why we're canceling them. But then their same argument is like, there are people saying like the protests, they're all rioters, they're bad, they're just breaking shit and like making fires and stuff. But then protesters are saying like, that's not us, that's only a little bit of us, like that's like a small portion, like a percentage of whoever that's part of like the movement. So like, why is like police officers being like, you know, banished and like all of them are bad for a small group of police officers that are doing that police brutality, but like the protesters are not seen as all rioters because of a small group. Like they should be accountable because they have so much power right now with their voices to be like, you know, the rioters should not be doing this and stuff like that.
And they also try to justify the people that are doing the violence by saying like no justice, no peace.
But that makes them a hypocrite.
It's hypocritical. If anything, it's far, or at least in the present, it's far more like, you know, consequential for the protesters to overlook that. I mean, the whole police brutality thing is an issue, but there is like you can use an argument like just statistics where there's more black on black crime than police brutality.
Yeah.
That's a difference. Whereas in this case, like the argument, like the two don't equate because right now the protesters it's a lot more significant because it's in the president, and what they're doing is that they're destroying homes or they're beating up people. Like you can look up on videos on Facebook, YouTube, like people being crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then these same and this also leads to another issue, like they're ignoring this, and then they're ignoring the other issue present. But you know,
everyone today honestly just like wants to be like a victim. Like I've seen so many videos surfacing the internet, like look what this cop did to me, look what this cop did to me, look what this cop did to me. Everyone's so like eager to be a victim when it's like the situation is like, you know, they're provoking the situation and
Rather than making it better.
well,
or they're making the situation like worse than it really is, like when no one's really doing anything.
and the whole point of that is just to get clicks. I think. I mean, it's probably bad to assume their own intentions, but I mean, it's good that if those things videos comes out, they're going to get more popular, or if it's on their own like post on a social media account like Twitter, they're going to get more followers out of it.
And also it's just like, you know, what if they're like, you know, being the cause of them? Like, you know what I mean? Like if they're resisting arrest or if they're being physical with a police officer, then obviously the police is gonna take it into their own hands.
Yeah, and these over like exaggerations isn't helping. It's just adding more fuel to the fire.
No pun intended.
One thing I want to say is like police officers, like they are bad people because they abuse power. Anywhere you get power, like even the smallest places like a basketball court that any event has been at, like they like abuse their power because like that they find meaning in their work. But like police, you would find it a lot, I would presume, because you get a lot of power, you get to arrest people and you know enforce the law on people. You feel like you have power over a normal citizen because you're a police officer. And I agree that like there should be more like educated police officers, because like especially in America, like there's like, I don't know, I heard it was like 6 months and you're a police officer. Like we go to university for 4 years to be things, and you have so much power as a police officer. I think you should at least have like a degree in like, English or whatever. Like Canada's a little bit better because most police officers go into it with a degree now.
Yeah. And it seems like, the power thing, like when police officers like treat it as like a hierarchy, you know what I mean? It's like you're a police officer talking to a regular person. They're not like man to man, like you're talking like this.
Yeah, like I'm not denying these things happen, but I'm just saying like, there's, like I said, they had power and they abuse it, but I don't think all of them do. And I said before that like, well Dan said before about the victim mentality, it's just like, when you provoke a police officer, like people don't do that. Normal people don't do that. If I go, I don't care about what race you are. Like, you just don't go up to a police officer and instigate them. Like you don't just like piss them off or whatever on purpose. Like if you're not gonna break the law most of the time, they're not gonna bother you. Even though a police officer, like it doesn't matter what you are. Like if you see a police officer, you still feel uneasy because it's just like, oh, am I doing anything wrong? Like if I'm in a car, oh, am I going too fast? Oh, am I doing this? Am I doing this? Like you still feel uneasy.
And then the Black Lives Matter movement try to act like white people or any other race don't feel that. Like if I see a cop, I'm like on edge, like no matter what. I'm not thinking like, yeah, I'm not gonna get pulled over. Like, you know what I mean? If I'm speeding, like I'm above because I'm white. You know what I mean? Like some people are just like, what is being black? Oh, you could get pulled over if you're being like, if a cop is nearby for no reason.
Like when we were kids, I remember the cops were called on us because we were playing road hockey on the road and someone got mad. Like it's not just cops, it's also just like normal people using it as their power. Like I'm gonna call the cops on you for no reason. And it's just like, that also causes situations that become bad.
Yeah, like another thing about the victim thing, I saw recently, this black person put on his own car like hate crime, stuff like that, like fuck Black Lives Matter, or like this is bad, or screw black people, writing the N-word or something like that. He did it on his own car because he wanted to look like, he probably wanted to post on social media and be like, look what people are doing to me. He's like trying to be a victim.
Yeah.
And then it's ironic because like there's video footage of like people finding out he did it to himself. So he's literally trying to set himself up to be a victim.
Like who is this?
It was just like a random person.
Oh, wasn't it a cop?
No, like a random person that just to their own car.
Saying it was a cop?
No, saying like someone wrote like he's trying to put himself into a victim scenario.
Yeah,
Like
that's true?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Well, I mean, that's proof right there. People just want to be a victim, no matter what. Like, there's obviously victims out
It's
there.
pretty pathetic.
Yeah. I don't know why you would want to be a victim, honestly.
Like I said, if it's on Twitter, if it's on their Instagram, social media, and they're gonna get more clicks or like followers, especially now.
say clicks one time, I'm slapping ya.
But yeah,
Fucker.
but yeah, it's like there's a trend going on with this whole like a movement going on of a certain issue. Like right now with Black Lives, like being killed, and like that's an issue, like racial issue. People are going to use that to get more hits or like whatever, to get attention.
Well, they want like empathy from people.
They want empathy from people, and they also want to get attention. That's what I think some of these people are doing genuinely.
No, they want to look like, oh, look at me, I'm oppressed. Like, please care for me. Please stand up for me.
They want to do that, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, we should go back on topic. We've had this topic for a while. I think we should go back to the cancel culture. Like, that was cancel culture about we kind of went overboard with it.
Yeah, cancel.
But wait, I was just gonna say like about the cancel culture, like the people online who are like, screw this guy, fuck him, fucking screw him, like, you know, cancel him, ruin his job. I saw this thing on like a post on Instagram of this girl who was making racial remarks, I guess, and it's like, I saw like people leaked her Instagram. It was just a random video on like a bus or something, and I'm just like, oh, I'm just curious. I'm curious how much hate she's getting now. And like literally, I looked at all the comments. It's like all these like, you know, clown emojis and like people saying this, that. And I saw this one comment that said like, you know, let's find out where she's working or what's her phone number. Let's fuck up her life. Let's make her life. Let's screw her life, ruin her life over because of like a couple of racial remarks. Like people.
Was it a joke or something?
It was just like something about like, you know, you need to speak English or something like that to people who are.
So it's not that big of a deal though.
I mean, it's like pretty. It's insulting, but it's like.
It's insulting, but like it's not that big. It's not like the person.
But that comment stuck with me because it just shows how like people go out of the way because they want to like ruin people's lives on purpose for no reason, and it's just like, I mean, not for no reason, but it's like, why is it your business? Like, you know, yeah, that person is like bad for making those remarks, but it's like you want to ruin their life over a couple of remarks. Like, come on, grow up. Like, seriously.
I'm guessing that some of these people like delusionally think that by doing this, they'll force them to realize, oh, I fucked up. I shouldn't be saying this shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if anything, this message will spread across. It's just being more people. It can lead to more people being more inside like racists. If anything.
Well, these are the same people like calling out and trying to like cancel are the same people fighting for these so-called like positive movements. You know what I mean? Like everyone says like, oh, feminism isn't just to benefit women, it's to try to make women at the same level as men so we can be equal. Same with the same thing as Black Lives Matter. They say, we can't say all lives matter until Black Lives matter.
I mean, there is an issue, and I think...
No, but wait. They're trying to be like positive, right? But at the same time, those are people that are like tearing others down for them to get to the top, or like for them to read more.
Yeah, they act like they're like a positive movement.
But you're doing it in such a negative way.
Yeah. Wait. They do it. They're like, you know, we're in a positive movement, and those same people are like, you know, they blame it on someone and they may be negative towards someone else.
Yeah.
Like Black Lives Matter, they're like, oh, screw white people, fuck police, fuck that. Even though it's like, not all white people are bad, not all police officers are bad. Same with like I don't know, like everyone else, like, you know, they just try to be negative towards other groups other than trying to teach them what they want. Like if people actually like, I want to teach you how I feel or teach you how to be better a person, people would listen, but no one's going to listen if they're like, you're bad, screw you, fuck you. And it's like, you don't deserve, you're a horrible person. No one's going to listen, they're going to hate you even more.
Actually, I have like a perfect, wait, change. I have like a perfect like example that like someone who did this. Like I actually saw like a Facebook video. I've seen him, I think he's been on Joe Rogan's podcast before. It's like this black guy named Daryl Davis. So like basically, he's like a black man and he has like converted like 40 to 60 people on his own, people from like the KKK.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you've heard the story? So like, instead of him being like, Black Lives Matter, or like, you know, screw the Ku Klux Klan, cancel the Ku Klux Klan, like I feel like almost anyone's brain thinks that the Ku Klux Klan is bad.
Obviously.
But I mean like, the way like he does it is he got in touch with like the leader of the Ku Klux Klan, and like he sat down with him and he like talked with him, and like first the leader's like, oh, he doesn't respect him, stuff like that. And then he has like, the Ku Klux Klan leader has like the Nighthawk with him, basically like a bodyguard with a gun. So then like basically like the Nighthawk was coming with the leader to talk with him, and then this went on for like years. So then eventually like the leader was like coming to his house alone, and the Ku Klux Klan leader invited him over to his house, and they're having like personal conversations. And then he had like a realization moment that, oh, I actually do respect him and his opinion does matter. And then it ended up for him leaving the Klan because he changed his opinion just by like talking it out and seeing from someone else's perspective. I just thought like that's like such a way better thing such a better method of dealing with things rather than just like going at people's throat and canceling them. I think it's perfect.
It's not going to get majority sympathy. It'll lead to, I think personally, there's a lot more people who aren't like sympathetic, especially now because the rioters, I mean, they're probably not big at that moment, but they've been doing like stupid shit, ruining other people, and this doesn't apply only to just white people, it applies to minorities as well, so not getting any support, it's not helping their movement. So, and on another thing, I just don't understand, like, why would you help a movement that's also bashing you for what you look like or something, you know what I mean? Because they're bashing white people. Now they were doing this other stuff, like preventing, like, there was this one case where they prevented a firefighter from going inside to save the kid. The kid nearly died because they were protesting. They're being stupid.
Yeah.
Like, if you, like, that's another issue, it's like,
Well, it's
these
like,
movements take extremes. They like their whole mentality is if you're not with us, you're a fuckface, and even when you're with us, you're like, because of how you look, you're this and that. That's what I personally think. And you better act the way, like you better follow my orders and stuff because you know you've committed sin or something like that.
well, I feel
Like
like
it's not religious. But
people who are trying to cancel people like that, like the movements, whatever movement it is, they are attacking someone like we've been talking about, and I feel like they don't understand that a lot of people who act this way, who are racist, you know, or like hate certain groups or whatever, are like, they grow up that way. They're brought up that way. If you're brought up a drug addict, you're most likely going to be a drug addict. If you grow up as like, oh, my dad was, if like, say like you grew up and your parents were like car robbers, you're probably going to be a car robber because that's what you've known your whole life. So like just telling them that like, oh, you're bad, I hate you, they're just going to be like, okay, whatever, I'm just going to keep doing it because it's all I know. But if you don't teach them like you just said, if people are not taught, then they're not going to change, and you're just causing more people to hate you.
Yeah, and another example that's like similar to that story I just told, like going back to the Deshaun Jackson thing, Julian like Edelman of the Patriots basically like reached out to Deshaun Jackson and was basically like, let's understand each other. Like I can understand your point of view, and like I can educate you, you can educate me. Just basically like educating each other about each other's cultures and like how they want to be treated. So it's just like, honestly, I feel like communication and like doing it in like a positive way is like the best way to go. It's probably not like as like fast or as like mob like as like these movements like rioting and stuff like that, but I feel like it's the better way to do it. Like still in state wins the race.
Yeah.
yeah, especially for the long impact, because who knows what this could happen. Maybe later on down the line, there's like an actual issue going on, and like, let's take this example of Black Lives Matter. There's like a case where like this cop like actually did a racial prejudice against this black guy. It's the boy cries wolf scenario. No one will believe it because, or I think majority of people won't believe it because it'll be over exaggerated, or like people will like make stretches, and no one will believe the actual case and stuff.
Yeah, and I saw a video, it was like, I can't remember what it was, but it was like, I think it was like two black guys sat down who had different opinions, and it was kind of like the question was like, you know, when is it a good time to get over slavery? And it's like, it just proves like, one guy was not with the protest, one guy was, and the guy who was with the protest was like, never. Like, what do you mean never? It's been hundreds of years since it's happened.
Hasn't affected.
And it's like,
In the guard that you were slaves.
yeah, and it's like, I'm never gonna get over it or something like that. And it's like, the guy was saying like, oh, but it hasn't happened to us. Like it wasn't like really us who was being slaves. And it's like, people throughout humanity was just like, you know, slaves like in history. Like Muslims, they enslaved like white Christians, or like vice versa, or like Indians were being like slave towards like Africans. Like everyone's been, like every race has been slaves if you look back in history. So like in that like, you know, methodology, should we all be like, oh, I'm never gonna get over slavery because all of our races have technically been slaves to like another race.
Yeah.
So like it just proves that way when that guy said I'm never gonna get over it. It just shows that these people who are trying to cancel each other are just like, they're not looking for an apology, because why do you think apology videos never work? Is because they don't care. They want to hate you. They don't care if you're actually sincere or not. They just want to hate you. They
Because
want,
they low-key don't even want it to end. They just want
yeah, they want to keep it going.
They want to feel oppressed.
Yeah, or like they want to like absolutely hate you and bring you down or whatever.
Yeah. And like going back to that, like to fund the police thing, I think Sharon said it earlier, like the black on black crime. Black on black crime is like the most way like black people die. And people are talking about
In America, yeah.
all these like ways how like white people are killing black people or getting away with it or limited jail time or whatever like that. The black on black crime is like the most prominent because when they like, to be like honest, like most black people that are in those crime scenarios are like living in like poverty. So like when you're poor, you turn to violence. So like they're killing each other. They like join gangs, do this and that, and like that end up like killing themselves, and then it's like not reported, and that's honestly like a way bigger issue.
Agreed. So, any final thoughts?
I think I've gotten most of what I wanted.
Second here.
Kind of want pizza.
All right, we're gonna get pizza. See you later.